Good evening and welcome to the latest edition of the Supporters Group podcast for Rangers Women. I'm Alan and I'm joined by Car tonight. How are you, Car?
Yeah, I'm alright. A bit of a whirlwind of a week, but we'll get into that, I suppose. But it ended on a good note, so can't be too mad about it. I'm choked with a cold though, so I sound a bit funny, so there's that too.
We'll try and not make this the longest podcast in the world then. As you say, it was quite a mixed bag. Started on Wednesday night. Flying high from the big win against Glasgow City last Sunday. We made the trip to the Oriam to face Hearts, and we lined up with not many changes to the team. With Jenna Fife in goal, back three, Cathy Hill, Tess Medag, Nick Dock as usual. Midfield four, Mia McCauley, Chelsea Cornett, Liv McLaughlin, and Brogan Hay. Rachel Rowe in her usual place behind Kirsty Howitt and Rio Hardy. You were quite happy with that team?
I was, because the week before we done quite well with, those same players. Wasn't really. I thought that was the strongest team we could put out, so I was fairly confident with it going into it. Hearts have always given us a good game, but I thought we'll be alright, we'll get past them. Wasn't to be.
No, it wasn't to be. I thought we played very well in the first half, but a lot of shots in goal, but mostly straight at the keeper. Didn't really force the keeper to work very hard for the clean sheet. And then we moved into the second half and lost a very poor goal. Really feel, I think we all felt that Jenna could have got a stronger hand to the shot that crawled across the line, but we just didn't seem to have the shape and the luck in the team to get a goal back.
No, I mean, it's almost a carbon copy of the goal that we lost against Glasgow City the week, the Sunday before. But defensively should have been better. But Jenna has to do better there. She's either got to hold the ball or push it out or do something. She gets a hand tip, but then it just trundles along behind her and she doesn't get to it. It's just a goal that shouldn't have happened, in all honesty. And I'm not Jenna's biggest fan, but I'm not going to sit and slate her here. But she should do better. But so should the midfield and the defence. Really didn't do their job in the first place, but then up front we had plenty of chances and we couldn't take them either. So it was just all round an off game for everyone. It was just, there wasn't really anyone bar, I'd say maybe Brogan and Cathy, that gave good performances. Everyone just looked a bit lackluster. I don't know whether it was the cold or the fact that it was late or it was the second game in a week. I don't know what it was, but it wasn't our usual intense, good passing, high scoring game of football that we normally have.
Yeah, we saw a change at half time. Lizzie Arnott coming on for Mia McCauley, who took a knock, which was a wee bit of a worry. And then we saw three changes later on as we were chasing the game. Surprisingly, saw both Kirsty Howitt and Rio Hardy replaced, along with Chelsea Cornett. Or Libby Banks came on with Sarah Ewens and Jane Ross. Surprised by those subs?
I think it's the first time that I've questioned Joe this season. Just the most bizarre set of subs, especially Chelsea, because Chelsea was having a good game. She was really showing up the midfield before she was subbed. It was most bizarre, especially Rio as well, because she's been one that's pulled us out of holes and scored late goals for us and done what needed to be done. But I don't know whether Joe had just seen enough and she thought, I need to make changes here and kind of, I don't know whether put doubt into their minds that their places aren't always going to be there if they don't play their best, or what it was. I don't know, but it was very bizarre, especially Chelsea and Rio. Very strange subs for me, and that was the first time I'd really questioned Joe and thought, that's just so bizarre. I don't understand, but it didn't work. I mean, Sarah Ewens had a few chances towards the end of the game. Really should have put the last one that she had away. But none of the rest of them really did anything. Libby looked a little bit frail. Not frail, frail's the wrong word, but she wasn't as strong in the midfield as Chelsea had been, which, obviously didn't help things, but just very bizarre. I don't know. I really don't know what Joe was thinking. I would love to pick her brain after the game and see what her reasoning was there, but it was very strange to me.
Yeah, I did find it very strange. We're behind in the game and we take off Chelsea, who I think's been a heartbeat of the team for the majority of this season. Her performances in Rio Hardy, even when she's really having a bad game, is still likely to pop up if there's one big chance at the end of the game. So I'm full agreement with you, and the subs were surprising, but defeat saw us slip to second in the table for the first time this season. So, as I titled the pod, it is the Rangers' way to do things the hard way, Car.
I mean, it certainly is. I think it kind of shook the team up in the sense that, well, we're not just going to win every game. You can't just turn up to venues and win. You've got to really give 10 out of 10 performances now. Every game's a cup final at this point. You've got to win them all to go and win the title. I mean, I don't really see City getting back into it, but stranger things have happened, and I don't really see them dropping any points. So it's on us to go and win every game, and we've kind of slipped first, for a turn of phrase, that we've dropped points first. And to not go and get a draw from that game, but it was more gutting than losing the game, because we had enough to go and do it and we just didn't. We just fell short, and it's not really good enough. It's just not what we do. But it doesn't leave any room for error now in the end of the season. We have to go and win next weekend. We have to go and win every midweek and weekend after that to the end of the season, or it's going to end up like last season, which nobody wants. The players don't want it, Joe doesn't want it, we don't want it. So it's on them now to go and deliver.
Absolutely. I do not want to be watching a repeat of the movie that we saw last season, because it doesn't bear thinking about the work that the team have put in. So it's not going to happen. We've got to be positive. And we moved on to today, and it's surprising to see the team lineup, Car, with quite a few notable changes.
Yeah, I mean, I think I said it was either Thursday or Friday, I said to you guys, if Joe's brave, she'll go and make a whole host of changes. She'll bring in the younger players, the fringe players, she'll give everybody else a chance, and Vic needs to start. And then we all said to each other, that won't happen. No chance that happens. And it happened. So, I mean, it's nice that she felt comfortable enough to do that the team didn't perform well enough. So she brought in Vic, who's going to play next weekend. So good that she gets a game and gets, some minutes in her legs before just going into a cup semi-final from the cold, essentially. But good to see Ely Austin come in. Probably harsh on Nick, but I guess nobody was free from the firing line of Joe that you weren't good enough, so you're going to sit for a while and I'll see how the rest of everyone else gets on. The only one I will say is a bit harsh on Brogan, but good to see that Mia was okay, because I think we were all really worried there that maybe she had taken a nasty one and wouldn't play for the rest of the season. So good to see that she was back and she looked absolutely fine, which was good to see. So yeah, a very interesting team lineup.
Yeah, absolutely. So the full lineup was Vic in goals. Back three of Kathy, Tess and Ellie playing on the left side. Midfield four, Mia, Chelsea, Liv and Lizzie Arnott came in. And Jodie McCleary in for Rachel Rowe on the 10 behind Rio and Kirsty Howitt. It was great to see Jodie McCleary starting. We've been talking about a lack of minutes lately and how much she can add to the team.
Yeah, I mean, she's a powerhouse, isn't she? I mean, she looks small, but I said to you before the game, it looks like she's beefed up a little bit. She's putting a bit of muscle. She looks quite strong that way. It's just good to see her get any minutes whenever it is, because she is such a good player and we know what she can offer us. But with the players that are in front of her that haven't really slipped up this season, there wasn't much of a chance for her to get minutes. So I think it was the perfect opportunity for her to kind of step up. And in that number 10, where I don't think she's really played too often, we wondered if maybe Lizzie would go in the 10 and she'd maybe go out wide, but no, Jodie was in behind there. And I think she did all right, to be honest. I think she played quite well, but it's just always good to see Jodie get more minutes, because she's one of the ones that she has the ability there, so you want her to play as much as she can.
I do personally like to see Jodie play more central, because I think she gets more involved in the games, But first half, no goals. Not a great deal to talk about other than Jodie herself having a goal chopped off for what was a bit of a generous push, would you say?
Yeah, the ref had a bit of a shocking game, and I'll say that on both sides. There was calls that should have been fouls for them and he didn't call them, and then there was fouls on us that should have been called and they weren't. But just one of those games, isn't it, where Ava Easton makes a couple of good saves in the first half for them to keep them in it. They were defensively very strong, and we just couldn't break them down. We were having shots, but they were bouncing off of players' legs and heads and all over the place, and we just couldn't find the back of the net other than, Jodie. But to me, it's not a strong enough foul to merit having it chopped off. Well, did it go in? I don't think it went in. I'm sure that.
Yeah, Jodie went on and put it in.
Oh, maybe I'm thinking of the other one. Oh, I can't mind. A lot happened in the game. It was a bit chaotic. I think my heart rate's just settled down from it. It was mental. But yeah, the first half wasn't great, and then you start to worry and think, well, we can't afford to lose this game. We can't afford to drop more points, and everything runs through your head. But Partick have been one of those teams that defensively have been quite strong. They don't always offer a lot going forward, but defensively they find a way to frustrate us, and you could tell they were frustrating us. Our players were getting raging at the refs. We just couldn't find a way to break it down, which we need to be better at that. We need to figure that out, because that's been a few seasons now where we've had the same problem, that we can't seem to break down a low block or a team that packs the box. And that's got to be something we need to work on. Well, now really, but especially next season. That needs to be one of our strong points next season.
Definitely. We'd to wait a wee bit, but we've been waiting for Kirsty Howard to score since she came back, and she's had a few chances in a couple of games she's came back, but finally she took her chance and put us in the lead in the second half.
Yeah, I mean, it comes from a Mia shot that the goalkeeper saves, and this time it's not just the case of the goalkeeper saves it and that's that. Kirsty Houch absolutely rifles it into the top corner, no mistake in that, sending us all into rapture. Here we go, this is it, not a problem. Silence their fans a little bit, who I will say were very loud today. It was chaos at times, but exactly what Kirsty Howard needed. I think she was getting a little bit annoyed that she hadn't scored yet. She had plenty of chances, but couldn't find the back of the net, and I think that was starting to eat her a wee bit. So it'll be good for her, overall performances, to go in, get a goal, and have quite a good game. And that was the start of it. We thought, here we go, that's it, perfect, no bother.
So a couple of minutes after Kirsty puts his one up, we're quite happy we're in control of the game. We make some subs. We brought on Nick Dock, Rachel Rowe, and a returning Rachel McLaughlin. Jodie McCleary, Kirsty Howard, and Ellie Austin all leaving the field. Absolutely brilliant to see Rachel back.
It certainly is, and it doesn't look like she's been away. A few players have come back from injury and they've looked a little bit kind of tentative when on the ball and maybe not quite 100%, but she had no qualms about anything, running through the middle of the pitch herself, taking players on, ran through the back of at one point by a player and probably should have got a foul for another player, but we'll get on to that, and just looked like she'd never been away. And that's exactly what we expect of Rachel. That's just what she offers us. And for me, we'll get on to it, but for me, she needs to start next weekend. She needs to be in that back line, because that's our best back line, with Kathy in the middle and Nick and Rachel either side. That is our best back line. And that's no slight on Ailey or Tess or anybody that has been playing there, but I think that is our strongest back line that we can play.
Definitely, and I was wrong. It was Tess that went off, not Kirsty Howard at that point. Shortly after the subs came on, but what on earth happened? Because it was a calamity that gave Imogen Longcake a chance to equalise for Partick.
Honestly, I don't even know. I don't know if it's a back pass, and then Vic goes to get the ball and then just slips. And it's one of those that as soon as she slips, the player's in, it's got an empty net, is going to score 9 times out of 10 from it. And it's just unfortunate on Vic's end. There's not much you can do. If the pitch is slippery and you slip, there's not much you can do about it. But after that, I kept playing it back to her, and I kept saying don't, because you can see how slidey the pitch is. The ball isn't moving right. As Kathy told us after the game, the ball doesn't move quite right on that pitch. So I don't know why they kept doing it, but it's one that Vic will not want to see back. And that's 2 goalkeeping errors, but not in the same vein. This week you can't really compare the two. It's not exactly the same, but it's not one that she'll want to see back, and it's not one the team will want to see back. But fair play to Partick, they took their chance, and it's just unfortunate it came at such a time where we were kind of on the ascendancy, and then it kind of sucked the life out of you a wee bit.
Unfortunately, I would probably disagree and say it was just as bad as last week's error, if not worse. Vic's been very unlucky to slip, but I have no idea why she's hesitating to play the ball. She could come out and just play that ball, and there's no problem. But it was as she was backing off. She's lost her footing, and it looked like she had half her mind just to bring the player down and give us a chance from a penalty, but probably wise that she didn't do that.
Yeah, it's not ideal, is it? I mean, I was only half watching at that point, I will admit. I thought it was a back pass. I didn't realise that's what had happened. I just saw her slip and I thought, oh God, here we go. I'll need to watch it back if I have to. I had to watch Jenna's back for this, so I'll need to watch that one back. But just one of those things, isn't it? We've not been the most blessed for goalkeeping non-errors this season, because that's the worst way I could have worded that, by the way. I don't know why I said it like that. We've had a few calamities this season, and it's just one of the things where I think we need to start looking at goalkeepers for next season, because Vic's probably not going to stay, and we need somebody in that's more reliable, I think.
Yeah, I would agree with that, but I mean, summer plans could be a pod on its own, I think.
I'm sure we'll do that. I'm sure we will.
I'd say that goal rattled us for a little while, and we really started to worry. But it was a moment of quality with the ball into the box from Nick Dock, where the last sub. Well, we'll skip back actually. Brogan came on for Lizzie, after that goal, and then Sarah Ewens was the last sub. Came on for Kirsty Howitt in the 76th minute, and as Sarah came on, Graham was standing next to us and said, Sarah Ewens is due a goal, and she duly provided from Nick's cross into the box.
She did. It was a lovely cross in, quite a long range one. Nick's on the edge of the box, plays it in, and she just kind of leaps up and perfectly places it with her head into the back of the net, sending us again into rapture. Wonderful moment for her, because she doesn't score as many goals. She's more provider than she is goal scorer herself. It's always good when she gets on the end of it, and just kind of tightens us up a bit, because we did look a little bit lost at that point, and we started to give everything up. We started moaning about stuff where, oh, this is ridiculous, this should never be happening, and then Sarah pops up and leaps out of nowhere and just heads at home exactly what you want from her. But that's what you want from your strikers. You want them to be in that area, and good that Nick saw that, because we were trying to play around and play it through the middle where they were just stood and nothing was getting past. So I think that's what we needed to do, try and play balls over the top into the box, which ended up being what worked the best for us in that second half. So I think we just needed to do that more. But again, good for Sarah, good for her confidence. You could see after the game how buzzing she was that she'd got that goal. So hopefully that just helps everybody's mood and confidence going into next week.
I suspect it's something we had identified that we could get at Partick, because we tried that ball quite a lot through the game and very close to actually getting something a number of times, but this one just worked to perfection. Sarah's header just glancing it over Ava Easton.
You can't ask for much more. That's what you want from all your strikers and all your forwards, to get involved and pull us out of holes sometimes. So pretty happy for Sarah and for us that it worked out. It's nice to see that they try things, but I wish in the first half we'd maybe done that a little bit more, because we were trying to go through the middle a lot where they were just packed in, and Claire Docherty was having a fantastic game and was just cutting everything out at the source. So we probably could have done a bit more of that in the first half, but it doesn't matter in the end. We get where we want to be, but I just like to moan about things.
We all do, but 2-1, especially after having conceded one equaliser, a bad mistake, was always got to be very, very nervous. But Rachel Rowe pops up, scramble in the box, 2-goal cushion, just finished the game.
It's lovely ball through. I can't remember who plays the ball through to Rio, who initially picks up the ball. Probably Nick, I don't know. Maybe it's Rachel, I don't know. But I thought Rio had originally taken the shot and it'd been parried away, and then Rachel Rowe had got it, but it's not. She plays it across to Rachel Rowe, who makes no mistake about it and just smashes it into the back of the net. I'd love to see it back. I've not seen it back yet. I want to see that one back more because that's worked perfectly. Rio could have been selfish there and taken the shot, but instead she's played it across to Rachel Rowe, who was having a good-ish game, but she's been a little bit off it the last couple of games, as I'm sure you want to talk about, because you were, the main one on Wednesday saying she needs to lift her head up. She needs to play it quicker. She's waiting too long. But she gets a goal, makes it comfortable for us going into the last, I don't know, was it 5 minutes? I don't know what it was at that point. And we eventually go and see out the game, which turned the tide of where we all thought it was going at a certain point in the game. So can't be too mad about it.
Yeah, or anybody that is around us and watching the games with us will know that it frustrates me no end that Rachel Rowe holds onto the ball for so long and it eventually runs into trouble. Which today ended up with her getting booked for a late challenge when she'd overran it. But, I can't be too harsh or, yourself and Wilf and Laura, who all love Rachel Rowe to bits, will be after me. So the main thing, we got 3 points today, and that was absolutely massive to respond well after Wednesday, Kat.
Yeah, especially when we played them at Petershill Park last time and it ended in a 0-0 draw. I don't know whether that played a bit on their minds. It certainly played on my mind, especially after Wednesday. I was really worried and concerned going into this game because we dropped points. We couldn't afford to drop any more points. And the longer it went on, 0-0 in the first half, and then we score and they score, and then you start to, I can't do this again kind of thing. And then we pull it back, and that patience that Joe talked about after the game, and a lot of the players talked about after the game, they just had to be patient. Whereas on Wednesday, they were trying to force it a bit too much. There were balls going high and wide. Nick absolutely skying balls over the net, which you won't want to hear, but she did, and they probably should have gone in if she'd just taken her time or maybe played the pass instead of, getting a bit frustrated and hitting them when they should have taken their time. I think they took their time a little bit better today. And obviously Partick are going to tire, so eventually, we get the 2 goals and we go and win it. It's perfect. But it shows that resilience, but we need to go and play how we did at the start of the season. I don't know what's happened between then and now that we've started playing differently. I'd like them to go back to the way they were playing, but whether it's just everyone's a bit tired with injuries to Kirsty McLean, and obviously Rachel's back now, which I'm buzzing about because Rachel's like one of my favourites, and I think she offers us a lot in the team. So it's nice to have her back because she is, defensively quite sound, but will just take the ball and go for a run, but she'll keep her head up. So I'm sure that makes you very happy that she keeps her head up and plays the pass instead of just looking at the ball. But we're starting to get to a point now where we can't drop any more points. So having these players back will be instrumental in the run-in, as Laura put on Twitter through the group account that, Rachel back for the run-in is exactly what you want to see.
You actually touch on a good point about Nick having a few shots during the week, and she went very close today as well. But it's something we don't see so often from Nick. And if she's starting to take some shots from outside the box, we know fine well that Rachel McLaughlin doesn't need encouragement to shoot from outside the box. Do you think that'll help us bring out teams that like to play that low block that we hate so much?
I think it definitely could help us because I think it is something that, we score a lot of goals from, long range shots from maybe outside the box or from out wide or whatever. Like Lizzie and Mia have done it where they've cut inside and then scored worldies. But then today, for some reason, we kept just trying to play it through the middle or, getting out wide, and it was just getting cut out the source. So I think it does, give us that confidence that they can go and do that. So I wish they would just go and do that more. And I think, I don't know if you remember the end of last season, we played Dundee United. It must have not been the end, but, towards the end of last season. And we kept saying, just hit it. And then they started doing that and we scored 4 or 5 goals. So hopefully that's got that back in their heads now. Just take a hit. Nick was so close, it just outside the post. Another one of them could have gone in. There was a few other ones today, I can't remember off the top of my head, but there was a few that, stung Eva's hands that could have gone in and would have been worldies. So they need to just keep doing that because 9 times out of 10 they go in. So it definitely will help, I think, confidence going into, especially next weekend, massive pitch, well, the net's the same size, but you know what I mean, massive pitch, you've got more space to play with there. Just hit it. You never know what might go in, and then it'll make all of us very happy, because then I'll stop shouting hit it at you from the side of the pitch.
No, Car, you won't stop shouting that.
I don't know why I'm telling lies. I'll never stop shouting that.
So, who did you pick as your player of the match?
For today, I assume you don't mean Wednesday.
We'll skip the player of the match for Wednesday. That's in the past.
Well, seeing as I'm not allowed to pick subs, because it would have been Rachel McLaughlin, it'd be Chelsea for me. I think Chelsea just really grown into the role that she's been given this season. She was great last season. She's been great since she, joined Rangers, but especially this season, since she came back from her injury, she's just been such a powerhouse in that midfield. I don't know why I'm saying powerhouse all the time now, but she has. She's been great. She popped up with a couple of goals, well, one since her injury, but she's just so strong in that midfield, and exactly what we need when we're, missing Kirsty McLean. And I think today she did exactly what needed to be done in the midfield. So for me, it's Chelsea.
You've stole my thunder. I'm predictable in my praise of Chelsea Corner on this pod. I make no apologies for it. I think she's been the heartbeat of the team. She needs to play. If she's fit, she needs to play. She sets the tempo for us. She's everywhere in the park. She's always making an option. She's always doing the dirty work. She'll drop in and cover the centre backs. If needed. She'll pop up and be an option for somebody at the corner flag. Going forward, and it'd be great to see her go on a scoring run. Now she's got that one last week, but I think she was outstanding again today. So full agreement with that. And last I checked, she was leading our Twitter poll for player of the match as well.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if she wins it. But that's not discounting the fact that Lizzie had, quite a good game. I can't mind who was on her side, but she was giving them hell. Like, they were really struggling against her. Kathy, again, did really well. Kathy's just kind of... She's grown so much since last season. Kathy's done so well, but I think she works better in the centre-back role. So if we can move Tess forward or give Tess a rest or whatever she might need, because she'd looked a little bit leggy the last few games, and I don't know if all these games have just kind of caught up with her a little bit. So maybe it's time that she gets a wee bit of a rest now that we've got options. It's a shame that Lisa appears to be injured again. Don't know what's going on there. Don't know if Joe will ever tell us, but she was on the bench last week, but wasn't really on the bench last week. She was with the Megan Bell and the injured players, so wasn't really an option. And then today was sat up in the stands again with the injured players. So not ideal that she's picked up another knock, but hopefully nothing too serious, because we can't really afford for Lisa to have any more injuries. But Rachel's back, so we've got another option there, which is nice. And Ailey, I think she had quite a good game. She's not quite where we expect our centre backs or our wingers or our full backs or whatever you want to call them to be, but she's getting there and she is doing a really good job. So it's nice that she got some more minutes, and obviously good for her parents to see as well.
Absolutely brilliant to see. I thought, Ailey had a slow start to the game, but she grew into it very quickly, and she showed a lot of confidence to take the ball on and go forward with it, and not just always play the easy pass and just get the numbers up that way. So, pressure time to be coming into the team. But, Ailey and Jodie, who came in after a wee bit of time, both done really well.
Yeah, it's just nice that Joe is not just leaving them out in the cold. And, well, it's not ideal that they had to come in because they didn't play very well on Wednesday, so they got brought in because other players had to take a rest. It's nice that she knows that they're there and they're not going to make the team weaker for coming into the team, which, sometimes younger players that are on the fringe maybe come in and they kind of weaken it, and then the players around them have to do more than they normally would have to do. I'd say Ailey probably had a better game than Tess did, and that's no slight on Tess. I just think she just looks a bit leggy. She just looks a bit off it just now. So, it's nice that these players on the outside are getting a chance, and Joe was able to trust them. Should it come down to it, should we get another injury, God forbid, I hope not. If come the cup final, we're 3-0 up at half-time, they get a chance to come on and play in those big games. But every game now to the end of the season's massive, so we're going to need all the players that we've got at our disposal. So it's good that they're just not going to come in out the cold all the time, that they've got some minutes there under their belt.
Yeah, and I think that's a big part of Nick no starting the day and Tess coming off, just trying to reduce some of the load on the legs at the back.
Yeah, it's definitely something we're going to need to do, but obviously having Rachel back now will help that. It's kind of difficult when you think about it. We kept saying we need another centre back, because we were getting a bit light, and then Lisa got injured this season.
Yeah, last sort of March.
Right. And then we brought Michelle in, and then, she disappeared, and then she's left. And then you're thinking, we're one injury away from a crisis here. So we need to rotate, and we need to give those players minutes. Ailey, Rachel back now. Tess can move into the midfield or have a rest herself. But you've got options there now, which is nice. We kept going on about that strength and depth that we had in the squad. So it's going to come a point where we need to use it now. So everybody needs to step up and show what they're made of, I suppose, for lack of better phrasing.
So I'll move on to a quick loan review. A few players unavailable to play today. Megan Cunningham and Jenna Ferguson obviously couldn't play for Partick as we were busy beating them. So Lucy Inman played 90 minutes for Queen's Park, who I think since we've done the last pod have been crowned champions, the SWPL 2. We will be in the SWPL 1 next season. So Lucy Inman, as I say, 90 minutes as they win 2-1 away at Glasgow Women. Megan Bell played 90 minutes for Hearts. She'll know what to talk about that, so we'll move on. Kayla Jordan and Laura Berry played 90 minutes for Motherwell. Kayla got the first goal for Motherwell as they won 2-1 against Montrose. So good to see both of them continuing to get a lot of game time at Motherwell. Becca Taylor's not back for injury yet for Hamilton, but Mason did start and played the majority of the game. But Hamilton struggled against Spartans. Hamilton did start the game quite well. I was there, Mason's looking better for having played first team football, but she's definitely in a team that's struggling. It's good to see Mason still making an impact in that team, but unfortunately they lost 3-0 to a Spartans team that had Summer Laird on the bench. So it's good to see we are seeing some of the players get minutes.
Yeah, I mean, of course, it's definitely good that they're all, as many that could play today were getting minutes, other than maybe Summer that didn't, get on. But for me, Kayla Jordan's got to be the standout there. She's, one that's kind of been on the outside, and I didn't take that much notice of. But she's just, assisting and scoring, and seems to be, enjoying her football at Motherwell. And Laura Berry scored a couple last week. She's been having a great time with them. So it just goes to show what our academy has done, and that Joe's maybe made the right decision sending them out on loan, because that'll be vital for them all getting first team minutes. And as much as it's not good for Becca and Mason, Becca's injured at the moment, but playing in a team that's at the bottom of the league, potentially could get relegated, but Dundee United are just below them. It builds resilience, because of being at Rangers, we always want them to be top. We always want them to go and win everything. And being in a team that's full of winners is going to be a lot different than being in a team that could potentially get relegated and loses a lot of games. That resilience and almost that fighting spirit that they have to show every game will be positive for Mason and Becca when she was playing in that. So it's just good that they're all getting minutes and definitely improving. I'd say all of them have improved. I haven't seen Summer Laird play. I haven't seen much of Spartans, to be honest, so I don't really know how she's improved, or how she's playing just now. But it's just good that they're all getting minutes, and hopefully, we talked about it in the group chat there. Was it yesterday, the day before? If Mia's injured, bring Mason back. That's what we said when we thought Mia was injured, because she scored I think she scored 2 goals there on, it was either Wednesday or the week before. She had scored 2 goals, one of them a lovely chip over the goalkeeper. And it just shows that she can still score, and she is doing that in a team of, a team that's struggling. So what she would do in a team with us, getting better service and having those around her would just be astronomical. So she's definitely one I'm looking forward to, playing more for Rangers. But you never know what could happen. But hopefully, she's with us next season.
Well, I've tried twice to see Summer play for Spartans, so I did tell her after the game maybe I was a jinx because she played midweek and she played last week, but didn't play. So I'll see if she plays when I go and see Spartans play in the semi-final next week. But before I see Spartans and Hearts play in the semi-final, we've got a rather big semi-final to play on Saturday. What do you think about it, Car?
Honestly, I don't know. I keep going back and forth to we'll batter them, we'll be absolutely fine, not a worry, to oh my God, I don't know if my heart can take this, to be honest. It's just so, I hate these. Anybody that says they enjoy an Old Firm is a liar. I genuinely don't think people enjoy these games because the stress of it. Players probably enjoy playing in them because they're the biggest games that you can play as a Rangers player, but I can't deal with them. I just want it over with. I just want us to win and get it over with. I don't care how it happens. I don't care if it's a 1-0 own goal from them. I don't care what happens as long as we go and win it. And I'll yo-yo the whole week. I will be absolutely fine. Oh, I don't know. It's just going to be one of those weeks where I can't think about anything else until it gets here. But at least it's quite early on in the day, so we don't have to hang around all day waiting for it to come. But I don't know about you, but I hate these games.
I have to 100% agree with you. Regardless of form, regardless of what's going on with us or on the other side of the city, they're non-enjoyable experiences. And enjoyable looking back when they've went well, but I've got every faith that if we turn up and play the way that we can, we'll be coming back to Hampden later in the season. If we play the way that we can, we don't make any mistakes at the back and offer any gifts, then next Saturday won't reduce the games that we play because we'll just be adding another one on after that. But I think we need to have everybody absolutely bang on it. I think we know where the danger is going to come from, and we need to be rock solid at the back. But I think the key will be making sure that we take the chances that we create, because we will get chances.
Yeah, I mean, from the games that I have seen Celtic play in this year, the Glasgow City one I watched, it's set pieces. That's their thing. That's where they get a lot of their goals from. We nullify that and we cut out gifting teams chances from goalkeeping errors, from defensive errors. We'll be absolutely fine because I fully believe on that pitch with the width, with Brogan or Mia or Lizzie or whoever it might be that plays, that will have free reign. But it's just about everybody showing up and not let the occasion get the better of them, which I don't believe does happen. But sometimes maybe, when we played at Ibrox, when played in bigger games, it's maybe got to them a little bit. But they all looked up for it, everyone that we spoke to. And of course, they're not going to say, oh, I'm nervous. They're not going to say that to us because that would just make us all nervous all week. But I fully believe they genuinely believe that. I fully believe that Nick will get them all told, this is massive for us. You don't want to cut your season short, essentially. So I know they have it in them to do it. We've already done it this season in a semi-final. So there's no reason that we can't go and do it again. But I think it's just the doubt of Wednesday and frailties coming this time, this last wee bit of the season that have got me thinking that. But I'm sure the players aren't thinking that. They're just back in it. I hope Chelsea's got some ice in her leg from that wound that she got on Wednesday, and she'll be raring to go, and she'll have free reign of Hampden, and we'll be absolutely fine, I think. I don't know. I'm doing it now already where I'm flip-flopping and going back and forth.
I think that sort of graze on Chelsea's shin won't even enter her mind when she has the first chance to smash into a tackle. She'll be the first one there. And I think one thing I wanted to see for today's performance that I did see, I thought the team came out kind of angry. They came out annoyed. They had a point to prove. You know, that's the sort of feeling I got from watching how they came out and played. And I want to see that sort of same mentality. You know, I want them to have it fresh in our mind, the last game that we played against them and that we lost, and the poor goals that we've lost against them in the last two games at Ibrox and at Airdrie. So I want the team to come out and really have the bit between their teeth and go and make this happen. And we did tell some of the players that there's no option, they have to win because it's Laura's birthday next Saturday. So they can't waste Laura's 21st.
No, I mean, I don't think they need any encouragement to go and play aggressive football against them. I don't think there's anybody in that team. You know, there was an article done, I've not read it yet because it's not arrived, from Liv McLaughlin. She did an article with, I think it's She Kicks magazine, and she said she'd never seen anything like it when she came up to Rangers the first game. That
It was
I think it was
semi-final at Airdrie.
Yeah, the semi-final. And she said she'd never heard anything like it, that the fans were right behind her in a women's football game. So I think it's on the fans as well. Tickets are there. They're kind of difficult to find on the website. If you join the Facebook group or look on the Twitter, Laura's posted the link that makes it a bit easier to go and buy tickets for it, because the website's that SFA website's a shambles. It's so difficult to find the tickets. They should be front and centre on that webpage, and they're not. So it's not sold very well so far, but hopefully that will change, you know, going into this week. And we'll just get right behind them all, and, you know, they'll all have a point to prove. They want to go and win as many trophies as they possibly can. We've already done one. We did one last year. We've got to go and do better this year. So it's on them now to show up and just go and do it. And when we play our best, we are the best team in the country. So they need to go and prove that.
Yeah, listen, Joe says that all the time. You know, this team's at their best when they believe that they're the best. You know, Joe shares the belief that we have that this is the best team in the country. You know, and I think the players just need to believe that and go out and show it.
Yeah, that's what it comes down to next weekend, isn't it? And then hopefully we're then going into May enjoying Hampden in the sun, as much as one can enjoy Hampden in the sun. But it's better than Hampden in the pouring rain, I suppose.
Yeah, and I think we've had enough rain for this season. You know, it would be nice to close out the season with sunshine and success.
And then we can all wear our bucket hats.
Yes, we can all wear the bucket hats. But I'll quickly say, I was obviously at the Hamilton Spartans game, and I'm always piling into the referees on here. But the ref, whoever he was at the Hamilton Spartans game, was absolutely brilliant. You know, and it's rare to see at this level, you know, but hopefully we'll see more of that ref, because he get pretty much everything absolutely spot on. He took no nonsense for the players, and he spoke to him and explained everything. You know, the benefit of smaller crowds is you can actually hear some of the conversations the refs have. So it was quite interesting to see that it is possible to see a good referee.
That makes it all the more frustrating that we've got referees like Wednesday and today in our games that are just awful, and they miss things and they don't make the right calls. So hopefully we're turning a corner now, and that referee can go and set the standard, and maybe we'll get him at the weekend. That would be nice, wouldn't it? Where a ref doesn't, you know, make silly calls and actually just calls things that should be called. Both sides, both ways.
Exactly, but if there's nothing else for you to add, or people can obviously follow both of us on our Twitter that's on the screen. We'll repost pretty much everything that's posted by the group. You know, find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. You know, find out what's going on. We'll always share any information that the club puts out. So join in, have fun, get behind the team, and if you can work through the SFA's shambles of a website, get a ticket and get along to the semi-final on Saturday even.
I know, I keep doing that too. I keep thinking it's Sunday because we always play on a Sunday, and it's Saturday. It's throwing me off. Should be a good day out. You know, if you see us, I'll have some bucket hats with me, hopefully. I don't know, Hampden's a bit of a nightmare to get into with stuff. But if you've ordered a bucket hat, they have arrived. So come see me and I'll have them with me. And then I've ordered more. They should be here quite promptly. So if you want one, send me a message and I'll save one behind for you. If not, just come up and buy one off us and we'll have them. Probably have some scarves with us, but again, Hampden's a bit of a nightmare to get in with stuff. They're a bit awkward with stuff like that.
True. Generally Hampden is quite awkward, but make your plans early, or check your travel plans. There's issues on ScotRail today, so hopefully none on Saturday. It'll make it more difficult than it needs to be getting to the game. And hopefully next weekend when we're doing the pod, we'll all be in a very, very, very good mood.
Here's hoping.
But that's all from me. And unless there's anything else, Car, I'll say thank you very much for your company tonight.
Well, thank you, Alan. Hopefully next week we'll have Laura back with us. She's a busy woman. Always something on.
Always, but you can never take it for granted. We'll get her on it. Some rare time off.
She deserves it.
But hopefully see many next week, and take care.